Are we there yet? I can't see a thing.
Dalkin, there? We're not even halfway yet. Oh, catch it, it's tipping. Oh, there. Whew.
Man, who'd have thought it'd be so hard to get Jeff's piano into the cleft? Oh, man, when we moved into the Baron's office, we just linked the thing in. Oh, let me get around here and try to get a better angle on things. There, that's got... Ow! Get off of my foot!
Yeah, sorry. There's not a lot of room on this bridge, in case you haven't noticed.
You know, if you guys would stop arguing with each other, you'd probably be done by now.
A lot of help you are over there looking out the window. Oh, my hand. Just standing there eating those confounded Anitos. Oh, I wish I would have never showed you those things. Ow! Oh, give me a minute and I'll show you somewhere else you can stuff those things.
Well, I am the producer, you know. I can't endanger the project by risking my health, now can I?
Risking your health? Just wait till we get across this bridge. I'll show you a health risk.
Oops, the top's swinging open. Let me reach around here and close it.
Ow! Oh, for the love of...
Oh, sorry, Morris. I didn't see your hand in there.
Ow. Oh, I'll never be able to play guitar again.
Huh. No big loss. We've got a piano, or at least we would if you would all get on the ball.
Janathus, brother, if you're still over there when we get across this bridge, so help me out!
You know, if you weren't so busy yelling at me, you'd notice more. Like, that rope is fraying over there.
Huh?
What?
What are you saying?
What are you talking about?
Nothing. Just that the rope on the one side of the bridge is about to break. I'd step on it if I were you.
Oh, now he says something. Come on, guys. Let's...
Oh, yeah, we need to move it. All ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2...
Watch out! I'm dead. You know I am. Farewell, citizens.
I'm not dead, but my kingdom for a panic link.
I don't have any feeling in my feet. Oh, wait. Those aren't my feet.
Oh, Sherry, this is no time to be tickling my feet. Is everybody all right?
Yeah, it looks like no harm was done. Hey, who's that crying?
No harm. No harm? Look at my piano.
What?
My piano. You killed my piano.
Oh, get over it. There's Dawkins' harmonica. Now get your butts up here and get to work.
Janathus! Across the desert, journeying from many other ages and worlds, this is the Cavern Today Topside, Podcast 2 for August 2008. For the third time in known history, we're preparing to experience a rebirth of Uru. While the date that we'll be able to officially enter the cavern again is unsure, we can't help but be a bit excited about the prospect of getting back to the place we all feel the call to. With this third iteration of Uru, known as the Mist Online Restoration Experiment, we are expecting to see something of a hybrid of what we experienced with Until Uru and Mist Online Uru Live. Yes, the environment is only guaranteed to remain static, but we're sure to see new ages from age builders and writers, as well as the involvement of all the various guilds. For the first time, this will be an Uru that will derive the majority of its story, plot progression, and expanded environments from the community. While it's uncertain how much content we'll see or when we'll see it, getting into Cavern promises to be a happy occasion overall. Reporting on this phenomenon and other facets of our great community, this our second Topside podcast, we'll be bringing you the news, our usual TCT talk, a musical piece by our own Jeff Wise, and a Moog thought. With that, we invite you to enjoy the Cavern Today Topside, Podcast 2. More! this? Oh, can you turn that down a tad? Oh, I hope Dalkin can still hear himself think.
Huh?
Dalkin?
What's that?
Dalkin!
I think I'm deaf now.
Hey, it's time for the news, sweetie.
Oh. Okay. Shura, this is Dalton Starbine bringing you your TCT News Report. Things have been ramping up lately with the recent announcement of the new return of Uru as the Mist Online Restoration Experiment, or MORE for short. The guilds have been kicking it into high gear, preparing for the eventual implementation of user-created content, and the official forums are alive with activity with various threads on that content, dealing with the rules surrounding it, what standards should be put into place, how it's done, and various other topics surrounding the entire age creation process. Another place where the topic of Uru's return was a popular one was this year's Mysterium, which was held this past weekend in Boston. Activities included a Heek tournament, a marker hunt, and the traditional holding of various presentations. Among those presentations were some overviews on the basics of age building and fan-created ages held by Robert the Rebuilder, videos of which can be found on the official Mist Online forums. Also held at Mysterium this year was a memorial for C.A. Greywolf, who had a hand in helping organize Mysterium, among other various community projects he was involved in, before he passed away. Further information pertaining to this and future Mysteriums can be found at Mysterium.net. While no date has been confirmed for the day that explorers can once again return to the cavern, speculations on the topic is rampant, and many hope to see it arrive before the holidays. At any rate, whenever we return to the cavern, this reporter will be there to continue to bring you news from Dunny and its ages. For the Cavern Today, this is Dalton Starbine, signing off.
I think everyone's recovered their hearing and is gathering in the workroom to begin our TCT talk, so I'll just head over there and say, welcome to another edition of TCT Talk, our roundtable chatterbox about the goings-on in the Cavern community. With us this month we have...
Anthony.
Janathus.
June Uru TMP.
And me, Sherry. And this month, we have a special guest with us. She is the deputy mayor of the TMP. She is a lady known throughout Second Life, throughout Uru. June Uru TMP is with us today. And welcome, June. We're glad to have you.
Oh, I'm glad to be here.
I hear that you have news from the Second Life community. You were a bridesmaid in Supergram's wedding. Congratulations, Supergram and Jehudi tied the knots. When was their wedding again?
July 12th.
From the pictures that I saw on the Mist Online forums, it was packed to the hilt. Tell us about the wedding, June. Give us dish the dirt, girl.
Actually, it was really something. I was quite impressed. I did not know that all of those kind of things can be done on Second Life. And not only was it fun watching the process and commiserating with poor Supergram because she was so nervous, she did a huge layout, all very spectacular with doves flying in the air and you can stand on balls and actually cut a wedding cake. And she wore the most magnificent dress. It was a light green or mint sea green, fully expanded. It covered from one side of the pews to the other, which did cause a bit of a problem down the road, but it was kind of fun. The actual wedding was delayed because of a few glitches that always happen, and it was about only a half an hour or so, but there were so many people there. It started becoming pretty laggy, which does happen in every game. And let's see. Let me give you some names here. Of course, the bride and the groom, you already know. Eric was the best man. Jazen and Thend were the groomsmen. And you could recognize Thend easily by his baseball cap with his tuxedo. It was pretty funny, but that's the only way they could get him. And then there was Elke, who gave Supergram away. And then there was Marie and I were bridesmaids. and then Lydia Mala. Is that her Yuru name? I can't remember her Yuru name, but it's Lydia. And we all were dressed to the nines, and frankly, I've never dressed up before, and I felt like a fox, so I was happy. Anyways, the real life reverend did the ceremony, and it was extremely emotional. When they said their vows, we all sniffled right along with them because it was so nicely done. But when Super Graham was trying to come down the aisle, the lag became pretty bad, and they had to play Here Comes the Bride 4 times before she could make it to the altar all the way through. And Elke apparently had frozen and crashed or something, but her avatar was still there, and this dress was so big that Graham was shoving her in increments in front of her as she was trying to get to the altar. And I was in hysterics. I was so glad that we weren't using voice because I would have been snorting all over the place. When she finally did get up there, of course, then it really went well. They have another set of balls where you can, the bride and the groom can stand on them and do the kiss or hold the hands, exchange the rings. Absolutely fascinating to watch. And then after the wedding, we all went over to the next place next door where the reception area was, and lined up to greet the guests and then danced our brains out. The champagne was flowing, tons of food there. Of course, it was virtual food, but it looked great. And I just had a wonderful time, and I hope that the couple has a great wedding. I mean, a great marriage, as long as it'll last.
Jehudi, it was her groom. Her and Jehudi, they are a real-life couple, aren't they?
Apparently so, and she's going to go meet him apparently in the next week or so. So they've not met in real life yet.
Oh, that's interesting.
They're going to now.
Looks like
That's fantastic, though. Oh, wow. And so Second Life, there is a Uru community inside Second Life. June, where are they located, and how can you get a hold of someone to get you invited to the Uru areas of Second Life?
Oh, that's an awful question to ask me. I don't know. I just have people summon me or transport me or teleport me there to wherever they are. But if you look in the search, you can type in Uru and tons of things come up. I got to start exploring the cavern over there a couple of days ago, and it was really incredible. Outside, you can even pick up the marker game, so you can make your own marker games up there too. And I'm just quite impressed with the detail, the thought that is being put into these places, because you can actually manipulate things that will open doors, and or that you have to do things in order, just like in your room.
Mm-hmm.
And people to contact, of course, Super Graham would be one, Lydia would be another.
Yeah, I think Super Graham said her name was Super Graham Bar, B-A-R.
Yes, right.
B-A-A-R, wasn't it?
But you can also just type either the first name or the last name in, and then it'll bring you a list up of the different people who have those names. But there's so many Uru people in there, and there is a whole list of names available. The last I heard, there were almost 300 on that list. And you can get that through the Dunny Refugees by joining that group. And they have a siren club that they do a lot of dancing and DJs and stuff over there. So you can look for the siren club and get hooked up that way. And then if you go upstairs, there's you can get a copy of the list of all of the names in there.
Oh, fantastic. So, listeners, if you guys are interested in Second Life, you can grab June. Now, June, what's your name in Second Life so people can find you?
It's June Uru TMP Murdoch.
Okay, cool. All right, June.
There's
so
no hyphen in between the June and the Uru part, though.
So we also have news from there.
Yeah, June, what's going on in there right now? I know that on Friday nights you guys do the CCR without fail, and I know that you guys have a little card game that happens in the afternoons with the folks from, I was talking to Ivy And she said that you guys have a little card game that happens over on Relto Island, right next to Uru Island up on North Motu Motu. What's going on over there?
That's on Wednesdays at noon Pacific time. And she'll throw out more tables if people come. Or there's tables set up on in the community center right just across from her little place. So there's always something going there. And as far as things in Uru go, we do meet every Sunday at noon Pacific on Uru Island, and that is open for not only TMP people, but all Uru and Miss players that are in the game. And we often go on a tour of new places or fun places or interesting or beautiful places. Sometimes we'll just stay there and play Trivia Pursuit, and we make sure that the Europeans and the Americans are split up so that they're not against each other, and so that way it's better, with all these heads together that one side can't take advantage of the others on the questions. So that's kind of neat. Or we'll tell riddles. One time it was devoted strictly to more coming and how exciting it is. But also the Guild of Maintainers is established over there, and they're having meetings in there. And so anyone who's involved with that can certainly get you hooked up with them, or there is a direct link on the island in a scroll if you're interested in joining up with that. And that's being run by Guildmaster Dot.
Okay, so you can get a hold of Guildmaster Dot, and the Uru community is so broad and wide inside of there. You can join the meeting place of Uru, I believe is the name of the club. If you want to get in touch with everybody, that's run by Susie and yourself, I think. And then what else? I mean, there are so many different groups.
The Shara Island. And Misty D has gone bonkers in putting out Uru-related things, including the library and a beautiful replica of the Uru Relto. You name it, she's got it. She's even got the quabs.
I saw the quabs. They're a little blocky, but they're so, so cute. I'm so glad to see that they have it. So, okay, guys, you heard it. Noon Pacific in there. You can go and hook up for a good time on Uru Island. So that's there. So Guild Wars, Anthony, Janathus, what's going on there?
I don't go much to Guild Wars anymore, unfortunately.
Well,
Anthony?
a few things have happened in the Guild Wars universe lately. They had the Dragon Festival.
Oh, I missed it.
Have that yearly. Yeah. It's a cool little thing they do in Cantha where it's based off of Chinese festivals.
Yeah, Cantha is it's in the first expansion pack, Factions. Mm-hmm. Very Oriental-inspired expansion. So
yeah, exactly.
If you're into Oriental stuff, it's actually like some of the great places, like the what's the main city that you hit?
The main city in Cantha?
The one you hit on the mainland when you finally cross over. Is that
something like Kajing or something?
Kaijing, yeah.
Kaijing, yes.
Yeah, it's a lot of red, a lot of pagodas. It's actually very impressive to look at. It's one of the strengths of Guild Wars is that it's got very high polygon count for the.
Yes, they do pay very close attention to their art most of the time in that game.
Yeah.
Yes, but they have spiders that jump out of trees. No.
And out of the ground.
Yes, they do.
And out of the ground.
Apparently not your game, Sherry.
No. I don't do spiders. Go on about Guild Wars, though. I'm sorry.
Anyways, yeah, so they had the festival, tons of quests, fun little thing. At the end of the festival, the Emperor of Cantha comes out, and you get a neat little mask. As far as technical information, they recently decided they're going to try splitting out the skills between PvP and PvE.
So they're not the same?
Right. They may act a little differently, have slightly different stats. It's something the PvE community has been asking for since the late Prophecies era, if I remember right.
So Prophecies is the original game.
The first game, what you start with.
You can actually you can play any of the expansions. It's kind of a misnomer to call them expansions. You can buy any Guild Wars copy, and like Nightfall, Factions, the original one, you can buy any of them and play the game. They only buy. It's almost like it's a pie. You can either just get a slice, or you can actually get the whole thing. You don't have to actually get one slice to get the next slice to get.
Unless
the
it's
next
Eye of the North, and then that's like the whipped cream.
Yeah, I didn't know it has to be on top of a certain amount of the pie. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, that's mainly what's been going on in Guild Wars. There's been a little news about Guild Wars 2, but they're remaining pretty quiet on that right now, so...
Yeah.
Okay, well, speaking of the cherry on the cake, let's move to World of Warcraft. It looks as if the expansion, Wrath of the Lich King, has gone to the opt-in beta. They've lifted the NDA on it, so you can go to different websites and look up Wrath of the Lich King stuff. They're talking about Death Knights. They have released the talent trees for the Death Knights. And there's all kinds of good stuff happening around Wrath of the Lich King.
For those who don't know, that talent trees are kind of a second way of applying your various different skills. As your character levels up, you can add more talents and therefore specialize your abilities. Because if they're all like the Night Elf, they all have specializations you can pick.
For the Warlock class, like you have Affliction, Demonology, and you would have Destruction. In a Druid, you have Balance, Feral, and Restoration. So, each of these different characters has something unique. And in Death Knights, I believe it's Frost, Blood, and Unholy. I believe. Don't get mad at me if I got it wrong.
All kinds of wholesome.
Oh, I can look it up real quick.
Well, it's if you have a character that's, I believe, 55 or higher, you can make a Death Knight when the expansion comes out. So, expansion for World of Warcraft is coming, the Wrath of the Lich King. So, if you're a WoWer out there, make sure you go and do your research, because it's coming quick. But speaking of things changing and evolving and doing things, user-created content. Let's get home. Let's talk about the homes business. Rawa posted a set of rules for age writing. And apparently there is quite the froth going on over at the Mist Online forums, which is so very exciting. So I'm on air. What? Who are you whispering at?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I was wondering, who was saying, I'm on the air?
If you build it, they will come.
My
Our very own
husband
Field of
came in.
Dreams.
My husband came in and wanted to chat, and I'm trying to tell him to shut up. Sorry,
big
I hope
shout
you
out
can
to
cut this.
All
Cut
the
this out.
TM peers love Larry. Oh, hi, Larry. We love you. So let's see. Let's
Can't wait for
dig up.
next interruption.
Hey, hang on. I'm going to go to the Mist Online forums because I want to read the rules that Rawa posted. And you know what? I am such a...
If you follow Rawa's rules, it will work.
They will build it, yeah.
Crap.
Okay. Yes, folks, we are an insane bunch.
Where was it? General discussion, I believe.
Junie started it.
Guidelines for official story and age creation, perhaps?
That's it. His 5 rules for writing in their most basic form. 1, writers must live within the Denis limitations of writing. 2, writers must not break continuity with previously released Dunny information. 3, writers must not reveal new information about characters, places, groups, etc. used by Cyan. Writers must limit new information about Denis societies to specific smaller groups within Denis. And 5, writers must not use the intellectual property of others. That means don't steal from people. But he says, notes, except for rule number 5, these rules mainly focus on attempting to minimize continuity issues. So when an age is submitted for approval, enforcing these rules will primarily be the responsibility of the Guild of Archivists. You can think of these duties as the Guild of Archivists as providing an information quality control for the ages. But anyway, he goes on, and this is in general discussion in the Mist Online forums, and he goes on to talk about, and let me tell you, everybody, it's already gone to 12 pages 13 pages by the time of us sitting down to do the show. 13 pages. There are all kinds of debates going on. Can we do this? Can't we do that? And Raw was actually in there. And the man that is notoriously hard to draw out. The man is in there going, no, can't do that. No. Think of it this way.
No, you can't do that either.
And he's really, kind of sorta cracking the whip, going, nope, guys, if you're going to do this, you're going to do it right. And swoon, I love Roa. I do. I love Roa. He's so fantastic. And but it really, going through that thread, it really felt like they were discussing this within the guild hall of the Guild of Writers, and there's this huge city buzzing all around it. So that was really, really awesome. But have we heard when more is going to come out? Guys, do you know? I don't.
We took a poll on the Mule forums, and on the Mule forums, and the consensus, perhaps it's simply wishful thinking, but it seems like most people think it's September. All I'm really worried about is, if I happen to go to a certain place somewhere, I tried to think of a place that I would like to go. Could you
okay, is that subliminal Minkata? Would that be Minkata?
Yes.
All I want to do is be able to find the soccer ball on my own, okay? That's all I want to do is find the soccer ball, because I have to go to Ivy's Minkata to go play soccer, okay? Goal! Anyway, yes.
I understand that,
the edge of Minkata yet, so...
I know that, there's new content that will come from the user-created stuff, but, there's just certain places I need to see again.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't. I'm having trouble remembering though. But
just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Yes, me.
Feels familiar.
So let's do some theorizing.
Okay.
Here we are. We're in August. Wink, wink.
Mm-hmm.
And September is only about a month away. And
right.
Do you think we will come far enough in a month through whatever Cyan has to do on their end to get more launched again? Now, people have pointed out things like the fact that Cyan is not going to be waiting for user content to get more running. That's one of the things that they were saying.
True.
So if we assume that, then September is feasible. If we assume that they want to release some kind of user-created content with it, if there is anything ready or even remotely ready, then I would wager that it will be at least one more month beyond that, to maybe October. So
depends on what their objectives for their tools are.
Yeah,
if they're wanting to just release the tools as they are, yeah, you're probably right. But
the only stuff that's been made, and I forget the name. I know I can see it in my mind, but I can't remember what it's called. I just know it's a big triangle thing. Mm-hmm. But anyway, it's designed off of, I think, a hack bait done to Uru Complete Chronicles. In which case, repurposing it to be integrated into Mule or more. Sorry. Is going to be difficult because more is a significantly changed engine for. They've done the best they can to economize it for network transport. They've got a different physics engine in it, and I guess they had to jump through all kinds of hoops to make that work. So I don't know if we can just drop Ages in, because if you could have, we would have probably had Ages slapped in a lot faster than we did throughout our episodes.
Ivy and I ran into Ivy over on Uru Island the other day, and Ivy is really big into the guild maintainers. She's a maintainer, and she's got her little fingers and everything. But she was telling me about that hack in Complete Chronicles, and I said, well, is it in more? And she goes, no, they're two totally different things. One is based on that hack you were telling us about, Janathus, for Complete Chronicles. And Complete Chronicles took a hike for me a long time ago. It was on an old computer, and I downloaded it. I did not get the hard CD version, so I have not played Complete Chronicles in years outside of what we did in Mist Online. So for me, Ivy was telling me you can do it one player, and you have to do a special download and all this other fun jazz. And they say that you can go to the guildofmaintainers.org/forum, and somebody's written a really great write-up on how to get that done. But otherwise than that, I don't think that those ages are going to be dropped into more. I think that those ages are going to have to be reworked for the current engine, because I don't think they're going to work cross-platform. I don't.
Yeah, there's a couple of minor technical OOC points to make about Complete Chronicles versus Mule. There's in a tech piece a while back, Anthony and I were talking about the widescreen / resolution issue that Mule had. And I loaded up CC a little while ago and ran it in Vista, and it actually runs pretty good. It actually runs better than Mule ever did. Of course, I haven't run Mule lately, so maybe it's just maybe it'll run better now Vista's current patch state. Not sure. But in any case, the problem I ran into is that if you have a regular 4:3 resolution, 1024 by 768, it's distorted slightly. You don't notice it as much, but it's there. If you look at anything that's supposed to be circular, you notice it's slightly oval vertically. Mm-hmm. If you switch it to a widescreen resolution for like a widescreen monitor, it gets worse. I mean, really worse, like to the point like, oh my god, are we in a bad 60s Batman episode and this is like the weird camera? And then if you...
Oh dear.
And I did some math and I figured out if you take that widescreen resolution and crunch it down to a regular like widescreen TV resolution, it's like monitors for PCs are 16 by 10 ratio and widescreen TVs are 16 to 9. If you squeeze it down to 16 by 9, it's the same roughly resolution output that the regular 4:3 resolutions are. But so I figure, okay, well, I'll just set everything to letterbox and I'll run the widescreen TV resolution. That I'll just have the black bars on the top and the bottom. But no, you set it up to that next notch, it gets even worse.
Oh, no.
And so when I ran Uru CC, I was like, oh, the circles are circles. So
man.
Whatever they did with the math and Mule, they didn't carry the two or something changed that caused this.
Oh, speaking of widescreen monitors, Janathus, since you're speaking Greek and tech language that I barely understand.
Oh, here we go.
I wanted a dual-core processor, Janathus, but I got a quad-core instead. I have a new computer. Yes, that's right. I have a quad-core processor. So
yeah.
I'm sorry. June, I have to give the boys a hard time because I had the really bad machine for a long time.
Because the mean Janathus picked on her ages ago, and I said, well, that's of course for all other computers besides Sherry's computer.
Anyway, speaking of coming up to potential.
Don't worry, DirectX 11's coming out soon.
Hey. All right, I'm steering the boat. I was running around in our forums, and I noticed a news clip by our news bot. And that faithful little guy, did we ever come up with a name for him? I keep calling him Linker, but everybody's like, no, his name's Bob. I'm like, ugh. Anyway, so I was reading this little clip, and I'm like...
TCT news bot, thank you.
As Anthony created him, Anthony seems to be kind of mum on the whole naming thing.
Yes. Anyway, the news bot, and I just as I was reading this, I was like, thanks, bot. But the whole thing, the bot had posted about the Guild of Healers and how they're getting organized on their own. And then talking with Ivy the other day, she was telling me about all the hubbub going on over at the Guild of Maintainers, the Guild of Writers, the Archivers, and so forth. And it just seems as all the guilds are buzzing with life right now. What is going on, guys?
Don't know. Sorry.
Well, I think everybody is just totally excited about more starting up and wanting to be involved, don't you?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, when I was reading all the forums and looking at all the different guilds and everything, I had this visual image from the Book of Denis where Atreus comes back from one of the ages and he finds the ferry docks filled with tents and the city buzzing with people. To me, that's the visual image I have right now because the forums have kind of turned a corner. It seems as with Rawa's posting the rules for writing ages, I mean, everything is in a frenzy about, okay, what goes with the existing storyline, what doesn't, and things are really, they sound like they're in a guild hall. And it just seems to me that this game has become a living, breathing entity of its own. True or false? I mean, with mobilizing the army that is the community, didn't they go and say, okay, these people... It just seems like everybody wants the city to thrive. Is this just me? Am I smoking dope? What's going on?
Speaking of armies, I think one of the cool add-ons we should do for user-created content, we should have squirt guns filled with glowing lake water.
Okay,
oh,
you may someday, but that's going to take.
It'll look like we're playing a sci-fi game, but it's really just water.
I still want my T-shirt that says "The Borrow are my friends and they don't like you very much." I want that T-shirt. I want that T-shirt.
Speaking of T-shirts, we might be able to get them to finally add the TCT T-shirts back in.
I would love that. I just want one.
Pullovers.
I just want one with 5 letters, baby. TJMOC. That's all I want.
You'll have to get someone to make that one for you.
I'll make it myself, thank you. All I want them to do is give me clothing templates or whatever it is that they use for it. Give it to me. I'll make my own. I'm not shy. I've done it before.
Wouldn't it be terrible if they hand you something and it's
simple.
so very difficult or something?
Oh, if it's like tying myself into a Chinese pretzel to do, I'm going to be so disappointed.
It
You know?
shouldn't be. It's just a texture.
At some point we heard about somebody saying the process that Cyan was going through to create their content was it was so complex that's why the tools were taking so long to get to the community, because it was so difficult to just translate that into something that somebody could even remotely have a chance of using.
Yeah, because in there we have the developer tools, which are like Previewer and StyleMaker. And those combined with a 3D modeling software like 3ds Max or Blender or something like that, you could, or Gmax, you could actually make a model, texture it, bring it into World, easy peasy. I mean, they're by far, because I tried doing this stuff for Second Life, and Second Life was a little bit more complex than theirs was. Theirs is extremely simple. So, boys at Cyan, guys, KISS theory. Keep it simple, guys. Keep it simple.
Oh.
The problem is,
I wasn't sure when you said
import
KISS
their
theory
tools
that's what you meant.
downstream to us.
Keep it simple.
And they've been
there's-
made for professional developers.
Yeah. And that's the whole thing. I mean, I can skin a model. You give me a 3D model and tell me how it's mapped. I can skin it. But the whole thing, I can't build 3D models. I've tried multiple times, and I need to apply myself to be able to really do it. But, you know, the whole thing is, I mean, skinnable objects. I mean, between all of the, you know, the chairs that they could give us, the benches, the bookcases, all of the existing content can be retextured. And it's more the point of just making those models available. But between all the healers starting to come into play, the maintainers are rolling, the riders are rolling. What other the messengers? Hi, we're just messengers. The messengers have been in full swing for a while now. I mean, I don't think we're missing anything this time around. I think we got a fighting chance with this one, because now we're mobilized.
Well, a couple things on that point, though.
What?
With more coming in, is anyone uncomfortable with the fee that we'll be paying?
No, not really.
Okay.
25 every 6 months.
Yeah. Now,
$50 yearly. It's $10 cheaper than GameTap.
yeah. So we're paying $10 cheaper per year, but being given no content. I'm assuming that this well, let me rephrase it. No Cyan produced content. So what I'm assuming is that if the community manages to build it, that if they build it, they will come. You know, that thing again.
Well, the whole thing, I think, there, Janathus, is that, you know, servers cost money. Websites, you know, hosting costs money.
Well,
all of these things cost money.
It's not like I'm saying that it doesn't, and it's not that I was actually saying that I'm unwilling to pay it. What I'm saying is, like, then we noted in our piece before that that people paying money had expectations.
Yes,
and
most definitely.
Cyan is saying this money is just to pay for the resources we need to run this, and the amount may change depending on, I assume, how many people end up paying. So,
right.
With all of that, you know, what do we think of that? Is that a...
Well, honestly, you know what? I'm going to let Anthony go first. I'll go on for hours. Go on, Anthony.
$25 for 6 months isn't going to be that much cost. I can see where you're coming from. People are going to have expectations. But Cyan so far has been doing a pretty good job managing those expectations. The community understands exactly what it's getting itself into. They're just happy to be able to have the ability to control things and move them forward again. If they don't get the money, I don't think this is going to happen at all.
Understandable. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't. What I'm just saying is, like, what I'm truly trying to say is that we're looking at a potential situation for more drama because of people saying, well, I'm paying it, and if it happens to go down or there's a problem and Cyan doesn't immediately address it, and people are like, well, I'm paying for this. This should be up. You know, that's why we're paying. You know what I'm saying? Do you see where I'm going with this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, June,
well,
what do you
I'd like to say something about that. I'm looking down the road at a bigger picture, and this is a chance for the fans to be able to help make a success of our virtual world that we all love. And it may or may not work, but if it does, if it does, can you imagine what a wonderful world we're going to be having? And that's going to bring in a lot more people in the long run. So, it's got to have its chance, and it's a small price to pay as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree with June. It's a big picture thing. Rawa talks about very often the powers of 10 and how we are so focused on a small point that we forget to really look out beyond that small point in the picture. It's like pointillism for Surratt. You look at Sunday in the Park at Le Grand Chat and you get close to it, you get to see all the little tiny dots. You get out far enough and you see this beautiful landscape that he's painted. And I think that MOUL is the same way. We all have these little pieces that we're going to be inputting into it. And I think that that's what gives it its fighting chance. Because right now, we've seen the community turn a corner. And if $25 means that people are going to keep saying, oh, I'm going to cancel my account, or talk about when's content coming. No, content now is in the hands of us. And it is now a matter of how Cyan's Army applies itself. And
Right.
So I really honestly think that looking at the big picture, I agree with June that $25 is a small price to pay for the fact that now we actually have this ability to make our world what we want it to be. I mean, yes, it's pixels on a computer screen, but the sentiment is real and it is there out in the community. People want to restore the city. They want Dunny to thrive. And so, to me, if I were Rand, I'd be crying tears of joy. I mean, the wonderful premise that they set up inside their garage in Spokane and the books and all the love they have for the culture. I mean, it's finally going to have a life of its own. And instead of when's content coming or what's the solution to the puzzle, it's going to be writers talking about how are we going to write the age. It's going to be maintainers wondering how they're going to maintain it. It's going to be messengers wondering how we're going to get the news out. And for $25 to take part in the Dunny culture, dude, I'll pay it every single time.
Actually, it's also going to give new people that come in and have not, been as involved as many of us have been to get involved with a guild and start putting their special skills into it. So I just am really happy about it.
I hope that that they managed to get everything to work in the Mac the way that they did with just regular Mule. It would be nice if it was just like WoW, where like it doesn't matter where the add-on comes from. You just punch it into your World of Warcraft folder and it can read it whether on the Mac or the PC.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, considering the stuff people are going to be messing with, because they're not messing with stuff on an engine level. The models and textures and that,
and I think Cyan said that there is potential that they'll have minor patches and tweaks here and there, so it's not like they're not going to touch it at all. The one thing I would
we're talking about the content that the people are making, not Cyan.
The one thing I would really like to see though is the city lighting that we were working on. Since we're bringing all of Mist Online or Real Lives content back into more. I'm hoping that they had that prepped and ready. They just never flipped the switch for us.
Yep, turn up the lights in the lake, baby. We're coming home. That's how I look at it. I mean, that is simply, Janathus, you were right on with that the lights need to come up because this is going to become a fully functioning city. And I don't think people really realize this. They don't see it in the broad scope that this is going to be an actual working, living, breathing city. That whereas before we were just hooked on, oh, okay, well, we're just waiting. And I think that Cyan, I think there was a post, I don't know who said it, but they said that, yeah, pie in the sky is that they'll be bringing in content as well. That's their pie in the sky wish, that they hope that they can someday start adding content of their own along with the rest of us. So $25, Janathus? Oh, the joy forever of being able to walk into Cavern, to be going swimming with June, to hang out with the family. I'm sorry, $25 is a penance. It's a drop in the bucket. Yeah, it is.
Actually,
what?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm finished.
Well, actually, I think this may help solve one of the major issues we always saw with Uru in the revived form. The whole fact that no one would ever truly get involved. It was always a passive experience. Everyone was like, well, I want to see what happened next. I want to see what Cyan does, yada, 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 yada. But they wouldn't. Cyan's vision was for a living, breathing world where everyone was doing things and something was always going on, whether it was Cyan or something.
Growing, breathing, alive again.
Exactly.
Pulses within a new community of those who now work to restore what once was. Denis calls. You only need to answer.
I tried to do that as fast as I could.
And that's it. Anthony has it right there. It is no longer a passive experience. And God, I've been beating my head into the desk with the TJMOCs on TCT Talk saying it's, this is about us, the community. And it's just, we're watching history in the making. And if you don't get in on this, you are going to regret it forever. Because, for me,
I regret not getting into the original Uru Live. I had an opportunity to join Prologue, and I didn't.
This is going to pale.
And it's funny, like, when I did that, I was like, when they get this lag stuff fixed, I'll come back.
Yeah. Hey, Janae, with my new computer, I won't lag anymore. Oh, my God. Anyway.
Great.
Well, not all lag is client side, just so you know.
I know.
Most of it is, but not all of it.
No, but it's one of those things. Living, breathing city time, guys. This is what we asked them to do in a TCT Talk, but 3-4 months ago. We asked them, give it to us. Let us handle this. And they're doing that. And so to complain about $25, that's as bad as the people, I'm going to cancel my account. Every time somebody said that in the forums, my common sentimeter went off the chart. I was like, ungrateful. Let me just smack you because you're taking away.
I'm not canceling my account. I mean, they've already got the money, but the whole thing is, I fired up GameTap. Remember, I'm not big into Sam and Max. I know quite a few people are, but I'm not. So I'm looking at their stuff, and it looks like, I guess, GameTap lost a lot of games. They lost some kind of license or something. There's a lot of stuff gone now that I remember being there.
Ooh, I'm not in GameTap anymore, so yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I just don't have time to log into it, so I hadn't noticed.
Yeah. I wanted to see if there's anything new that, maybe I might want to play since I've got it till November. And no, there's not. And what's even funnier is a slight more aside on this is that if you read some of the articles that we're following around lately, Mist Online or Live was the biggest draw of people paying for GameTap by far.
Really?
And I was like,
wow.
You people really shot yourselves in the foot by doing that then, I guess.
Well,
where did you read this?
I really don't remember. Sorry, it's been a while. It was one of the
GameTap itself said that Euro was online it's one of its top 3 games. They've posted that.
Okay, well, if it comes from the horse's mouth, there you go. If GameTap knew it and they still canceled it, that's on them. CEOs, I'm telling you, I could go on a rant forever about how putting on a necktie cuts off the circulation to the brain, but, I'm not going to do it.
But I think that we need to understand the importance of what's happened over the years. Apparently, no game comes back like Uru has in any form, and this is its 4th reincarnation, I believe. And that's got to be historic in its own self.
Oh, yeah, it is. They're doing a whole, I believe it was the Austin Game Developers Conference. Mm-hmm. They're doing a whole section on Uru because of how many times it's come back.
Right.
Well, we're the community that just won't die.
Well, we have an incredible chance here, and I'm so impressed with the people that play Uru and love it, and the skills that they have that they can do this. And so I'm just really looking forward to it, and I'm sure that we're going to get new people, just by that simple fact. So that's what we need, money. We need members to pay. And so it doesn't matter if we pay a pittance right now, because if it all works out well, we're going to be so much better off in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my dream is for Cyan to eventually be able to just redevelop Uru from scratch.
Yeah,
would
put
be
it in
nice.
this one big update.
Yeah, because Uru has a number of inbuilt design flaws that they really can't get rid of. Because it was their first attempt at a game like that.
Probably because of the legacy code.
Yeah.
I would love to see, even if we don't, even if we're not talking like the Unreal 3 engine level of detail, even if we could like get a Myst 5 level of quality out of all of Uru Live, that would be pretty good.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just want to be able to run around the city. I'm really looking forward to going to the common book rooms and going and opening up one of those books and seeing the seal of the Guild of Maintainers and, knowing that age is safe to visit, and then just linking through and saying, hey, I'm in such and such, I'm in Outer Jamaat. Come join me. Those and the one thing that I'm very curious about, and this is so canon, I'm wondering if they're going to reinstate the Corfavaja. Do you guys know what the Corfavaja was?
No idea.
I'm saying it right. Linguists, don't be mad at me if I'm saying it wrong. Corfavaja was a ceremony that is given to the great writers of an age when the last person actually to get a Corfavaja was Viovis.
Yes.
And what happens is they take the age that they write and they turn it into a part of the canon. And so it becomes a part of the canon through a ceremony called the Corfavaja. And the ones that had a Corfavaja, Rinaref was in that list, along with some others, and the first great writer in the Guild of Writers. They are all in this. And I'm just wondering if somebody's going to produce an age that is so phenomenal that it gets inducted into the canon in the Corfavaja. So good luck to the writers. I hope they reinstate that for them, because that would be very exciting to have a celebration.
It would be a good thing for someone to be able to shoot for.
Mm-hmm. Without a doubt. So, you know me, I am just a hound in the Myst Reader. I am just a canon junkie.
How dog-eared is your copy?
Huh? It's not really okay. The bottom right cornered edge is kind of coming up a little bit. There are some. There's definitely. You can tell it's well read. You can open it up and it'll just stay open. It's not falling apart though. I take good care of the Myst Reader. It's the Bible of Dunny. So just hang on to it. But okay, let's wrap this up. For TCT Talk, this has been
Anthony,
Janathus,
Junior TMP.
And me, Sherry, and we're signing off. I tell you, that Janathus always has a piece of music queued up to listen to. And most of the time, it's at a very unfriendly neighbor volume level. That piece of music was called Jalak's Game by Jeff Wise, our very own heartbroken, former grand piano-owning staff composer. Don't worry, Jeff, babe. We gonna get you a new one somehow, I promise. Now, where were we? Okay, Moog. Yeah, it's Moog's Thought this month. Yay! Let me see if he's ready or not. Hang on just a tick. Hey, Moog? Yeah, hey, are you ready over there?
Ready when you are.
Wonderful. Okay, you're on in 3, 2, 1.
Hello again, this is Moog for the Cavern Today, Topside. This is the first editorial I've put together since the closure of Mist Online, Uru Live, and it's a real treat to be able to write a piece on an optimistic theme. The recent news regarding Mist Online Restoration Experiment, or more, has sent ripples through the community. It's so exciting to see a light at the end of the tunnel, and to realize that at last we, the Called, might have a real opportunity to not only revisit the cavern, but to actually shape the worlds we explore and the stories they contain. Our path to this point has been rather like the Amateria roller coaster in Mist Exile. Every time we think that everything's finally in place for a successful ride, we see our ice ball shattered yet again by an unexpected obstacle. And who knows, this still may not be the time when we get to jump in for a ride. For all we know, there are still barriers that have yet to be removed. Only time will tell. But all the same, this is a very encouraging step. For example, the guilds of riders and maintainers will finally be able to step into the spotlight, and I can't wait to see what they come up with. The storytellers among us will be thinking of ways to wrap storylines around new ages. And here at the Cavern Today, the mood is electric as we anticipate our role in more. Seems like no sooner had we transitioned to a holding pattern and added Topside to our title to indicate our status, we find ourselves reporting on a potential return to the cavern and the ages. Yes, it's a very exciting time to be an Uru fan, and in a very real way, the enthusiasm of the Uru community has been the critical factor in every Uru revival since the original closure. This community, it's more of a family really, simply refuses to die. And Cyan has bent over backwards to keep the dream alive for us, knowing that the dream is just as real to us as it is to them. We owe Cyan a huge debt of gratitude for their perseverance, and I only hope that the community can repay them by embracing more and making the dream a reality at last. It's going to be an uphill climb, but I have every confidence that this new journey may well be the best one yet. In closing, we here at the Cavern Today would like to extend our best wishes to Cyan, to the Guild of Riders, the Guild of Maintainers, and all the others who are gearing up to make more happen. I think the best is yet to come, and I can't wait to see it. For the Cavern Today Topside, this is Moog signing off.
I love the environment in Teledon. But before I send you on your way, while I enjoy a little bit of allergy-inducing ambiance, here's the cast that brought you our Topside Podcast 2. Anthony, for editorial producing, site and forum administration and TCT Talk. Dalkin Starbine for the intro skit and the news. Janathus for the intro skit, TCT Talk, production and assembly. Jeff Wise for Jalax Game and for the intro skit. Morus for his part in the intro skit. Moog for scripting the intro skit and his part in it, and of course his ever wonderful Moog thought. Wolfgang D for his part in the intro skit. Nareem for the 4 million ways he just keeps being Nareem. And of course our special guest, June Uru TMP from the meeting place. Thanks, June, for coming to visit with us on TCT Talk. And on behalf of the cast and crew here at the Cavern Today, this has been your host, Sherry. And until next time, we're signing off.